So it's finally here. We have a release window, spring of 2025. It's a super exciting trailer and there's a good bit to unpack. I also have a few unreleased clips to look at, so let's get started. In the opening here, we see our first look at what the inside of the hangar will be like from our pilot's POV. I've heard a lot of different opinions on whether or not this is good or even healthy for the game, but personally, I find it as an extra source of monetization for the devs, so as long as they keep the game not pay to win or pay for advantage, I'm happy. The next segment, we see 3 players deploying into the PvPvE mode, Mashmak. Mashmak will be limited to 3 squads and is a loot extraction game mode with bosses and other cool stuff. This game mode will be the primary source of mod farming for your mechs, as well as simply being a very fun alternative to the ranked experience. We also get our first look at weapon loadouts as we get a brief glimpse of Alisnes with 2 guns. Next we see more Mashmak, as well as our first look at Panther with a gun. I will dive into more detail regarding the different weapon loadouts seen later in the video. Next major thing we see are our first looks at the weaponized gliders. I really like these as they serve to make Mashmak even more interesting, and quite simply more fun in my opinion. We do see a shot of Falcon jumping off to kill a bot, and then hopping back on, but I'm pretty sure that is just cinematic and not something that will actually happen in game. And lastly, we see what the boss fights will look like, and it looks amazing. Very excited for that. Last part of the video, we see a small skirmish inside Cape Blanc Observatory, featuring 2 teams of 3 fighting in the game mode called Ace Arena. I personally haven't heard much about Ace Arena, other than that it is a 3v3 deathmatch game mode. It could be different on launch, but either way, it is an exciting thing to explore. We also get a beautiful shot of Aquila shooting either a new gun or a full-on weapon skin. This shot appears to be our first look at ranged finishers as well. Just like melee finishers, I have to advise that this isn't something you should really be doing in ranked matches, as it is a suboptimal use of your time and you are very vulnerable while doing this. Now that we've reviewed the trailer, I'm going to show you guys some of the clips that were not part of the Game Awards trailer. That's all the video footage we have. Now we will go over what we have seen of the new customizable loadouts. First off, I need to share everyone this disclaimer. The different weapon loadouts will be Mashmak only, confirmed by this Instagram post here. First, let's take a look at Alisnes and Panther. Panther has 2 new guns. One is kinetic damage while the other is energy. The kinetic gun appears to be some kind of tri-barrel rivet gun, while the energy weapon looks simply like an energy-based SMG. We can also see Panther still has both melee weapons on his back, which means in this loadout, Panther has no hand shield. Opposite of Panther, we have Alisnes. We see 2 kinetic weapons being fired, probably the same guns in each hand. With this loadout, I do not believe Alisnes has any melee weapons, at least in the adult form, and unfortunately we don't get to see baby Alisnes, so I can't really comment on that. Next, we have Falcon, who I may or may not be partial to. At the very beginning of the trailer, we can see Falcon cloaked. At first I thought this was the cloak you get from deploying, but the way the Falcon was jumping up and down is proof that this is an active camo. Later in the trailer, we can see Falcon firing a 3 times volley of light missiles. I would assume that this would be swapping the heavy missile for 2 times light missiles. This is definitely exciting for Falcon players in Mashmak. Last but not least, we have the finisher from Aquila. It looks like this is either a new weapon or a new weapon skin. I'm leaning towards weapon skin as it seems to fit perfectly with the rest of Akila's frame decals. And that is everything I wanted to go over in this video. Thank you for watching, and if you stuck to the end, you're the GOAT, and I'll see you on the battlefield.